Hello, this is Alexander James Mathers reporting to you from Tbilisi, Georgia. And don't worry, I don't normally talk like this, I'm just playing around with you. I might be slightly losing my mind, but I wanted to attempt to answer the question that I got through from Chloe Feldmain on the Instagrams, who asked, how do I go about cold emailing potential clients? Good question. I would say, first of all, you want to be leaving cold emailing to more of a last option. I mean, it's still a good option and a worthy one, and it still will bring in opportunities if done well in terms of attracting new clients and new prospects and new members of your network. Yes, it's a good thing, but there are so many other things you can do before that, which I will briefly touch on, but I will also expand into in other videos. Ideally, you want to be communicating with people if you want to land some sort of a deal or further a relationship. You want to be reaching out first and foremost to people that already know you in some way, or at least loose, weak connections. So the ideal, really, if you're selling anything online, one of the ideal ways to do that is to build up a mailing list. I know people natter on about bloody mailing lists all day long, but a mailing list still has value. And the reason people still talk about mailing lists is because it allows you to build trust and engage with people over time who are connected to you through the very act of subscribing to you, which means that they are going to have more respect for you, more interest, more trust. And when it comes time to connecting with them to ask for things, they're going to be a lot more receptive. So ideally, you want to be knowing people and communicating and emailing people who already know you in some way, even if you've never talked to them before. They might well have heard you through your newsletter, and obviously before that, things like social media tweets and all that kind of stuff. And there's a process that you have to put people through to move them from a complete stranger to getting them onto your either mailing list or some kind of consistent form of communication that they receive from you. And that could be them being on your YouTube channel, whatever it is. There are so many avenues, it's very difficult to talk about them all in one breath. But basically, if it does come down to cold emailing people, which, as I said, could be a very valid option, especially if you just have to get through to them, you haven't got the time and all that kind of stuff to build a solid relationship beforehand. The best way to do it is to view cold emailing not in terms of one email. View cold emailing in terms of a bunch of, say, at least five emails. Every person that you are considering cold emailing should be viewed in terms of 5 emails at the very least. That's just the nature of the game, and in many cases it'll take more emails to even get someone to acknowledge that you exist. So don't be disheartened if you email someone and they don't respond. You need to see it as a process, as a progress of one email, another email, a fourth touch-in, a fifth touch-in. It's all about the follow-up. Follow-up is what gets people to realize that you are serious, you aren't some kind of a nut job who's just stalking them. So view it in terms of the numbers first and foremost. It's a package deal, okay? It's a package deal of 5 emails, 6 emails. Sometimes it takes 12 emails to get someone to take you up on your offer, whatever that offer might be. It's a numbers game, folks. It's tough, but those who get ahead are going to be the ones who are willing to embrace the numbers. Okay, moving on to the next key aspect of cold emailing is to establish some kind of a connection with them, some kind of a shared feature of your life that you share with them that can get them to be much more interested in you. So obviously, when you email someone who doesn't know you, you're gonna come across as you're gonna come across as a complete stranger to them. In many cases, they'll probably delete your email, especially if it seems as if you're just some rando who hasn't made the effort to create some kind of rapport or hasn't got some sort of a shared interest that you have with them. So it really helps, I've found, when you can very upfront, very close to the top of the email, show them how you are connected to them in some way. And people are much more likely to trust and respect and have an interest in people who share some kind of common ground. So it could be that you know someone that you both know. You might mention someone else's name who you both know, and that will you can figure that out through LinkedIn connections and social media connections, but also just asking around helps. So common ground in terms of that, common ground in terms of experiences you've both had. Maybe you've both been to the same conference, the same festival, you've lived in the same countries. There's usually something you can find out through a bit of online cheeky stalking that'll give you some information about this other person that will show to them, oh, this guy has something in common with me, maybe he's worth replying to. It's all about really selling yourself in this instance and showing them that you personally, the writer of the email, is valid to them, is of interest to them, and is worth responding to. So common ground really helps. The second, the other aspect of writing good cold emails, beyond writing plenty of them, following up simply through following up is powerful in itself. But finding common ground. Thirdly, to show that you're sincere. So people don't like to read emails from people that look like they've just been copied and pasted. Each email needs to be tailored to them. It needs to at least look as if you have shown direct interest in them specifically, that you're not just kind of going through a list and ticking people off. It can't seem like that, otherwise people are immediately going to delete those. I can't tell you how many emails I've received recently that look like copy and pastes, even if my name is in there, and I've just immediately deleted it. But if I see that there's some sort of level of sincerity and people are genuinely interested or do a good job, even if it's not real, of showing an interest in me specifically and bringing up things that I've done in the past or speaking to me in a less official way. I find that if it gets too official, I get kind of put off as well. So it has to be friendly. It has to be at a friendly level. And really think about those times in your past when you reached out to someone who hadn't heard of you, but you really wanted to talk to them and you were genuinely interested and you loved what they did. How would you speak to them without gushing too much? And recreate that. Keep it short. People don't like to read massive essays. Keep it intriguing and short. You don't need to reveal everything and anything and everything about what you're trying to get across to them. Just say, look, I've got this thing that I wanted to talk to you about, or you might be more specific than that, or ask them a specific question. People like to be asked questions because it makes them seem important. But more than anything, don't worry too much about the content. This is what I'm really trying to get across, is that you have to view it as a numbers game and keep the first one short so that there's a higher chance that people are going to respond. And if they don't, wait a week and write them another email. Okay, and if they don't respond to that, write them another one and change things up a bit. Everyone's different. It's case by case. People respond differently, and some people don't even like to use emails whatsoever. So don't take it personally. Try other avenues as well in tandem. So never view sending an email as like as a tool in and of itself. It should be viewed as one item in your toolbox. And you might also simultaneously, for example, send a tweet. You might have a Twitter conversation with them and then bring it over to email. You might just get creative about this, and things are changing all the time. So I can't claim to be the godfather of emails, although I've quoted myself as such many times, only joking. So that's my 2 cents on cold emailing. View it as a package deal, so you're sending at least 5 emails. That'll massively increase your rate of return and response and success doing it. Be sincere, show to them that you are interested in them and you have value to share and you're interested in helping them, and you want to keep the emails short. You might want to send them some value, ask them a question. There are many things you can do. Be creative and have faith. Put in the numbers. Expect it to be difficult and challenging. Expect to be rejected over and over again. And I'd love to continue talking on this, so ask me any other questions on this issue and I'll be happy to share more videos. Subscribe, like this, share this with your mates, and I'll see you in the next video. Signing out from the godfather of emails, Alex Mathers. See you tomorrow.